And in chapter 4, this would be like day 2 test material would be my guess. So stuff that would be on Monday's test, okay? There's not any like theorems or anything like that. We're all just going to define it within different problems. But it's a pretty cool way for us to organize information that we can get into a matrix, which is what matrices have been all along, is how to organize information. Through a market analysis, a company finds that all of people who buy Highlight shampoo 1 month, 90% will buy it again the next month, okay? 5% will change to Silky Shine the next month, and 5% will change to some other brand. Of those people who buy Silky Shine 1 month, 10% will change to Highlight the next month. 70% will stay with Silky Shine, and 20% will change to some other brand. Of the users of other brands, 20% change to Highlight, and 20% change to Silky Shine. I think Amog just let off the largest yawn of all time, because that is very boring to read. It is, right? Like hearing all that information, like that's pretty boring, okay? What we want to do is we want to write out all this information in what is called a transition matrix, okay? So what we're doing is we're transitioning from 1 month to the next month. So let's see how we organize this information, okay? We're always going to do it the same way, where we've got, in this case, it's a 3x3 matrix, because we have 3 types of brands we're considering: Highlight, Silky Shine, and then other brands. So we aren't necessarily tracking, okay? So we'll do it as a 3x3 matrix, and we'll set it up this way. So we're going to go from the brand, we're going to set it up as rows, and then we're going to go to a different brand the next month as columns, okay? So this is month 1, and then 2, and we're going to say this is month 2, okay? All right, so our brands are Highlight, Silky Shine, and then other, and then we're going to put that across the top as well. And then you'll see how we can start organizing this information as a matrix. We have to read that very boring paragraph again in order to figure out what we're going to put in each one of those values, okay? All right, of the people who buy Highlight shampoo 1 month, 90% buy it the next month. Where does that go? Top left. They go from Highlight to Highlight, so top left. So I'm going to put 0.9 in the top left, okay? All right, 5% will change to Silky Shine the next month. Where does that go? To the right or to below it? To the right, to the right. So then 0.05, good. Because we're going from Highlight to Silky Shine. And then 5% change to another brand. That's going to be another entry in our first row, correct? So then 0.05 there. All right, cool. All right, of those people who buy Silky Shine 1 month, 10% will change to Highlight the next month. Where does that go? First column, second row. So then that would be, what do we say? 10%, so 0.1. 70% will stay with Silky Shine, so that's right next to it, right? 0.7. And then 20% will change to another brand, okay? All right, and then other brands. It says 20% will change to Highlight from another brand, and then 20% will change to Silky Shine. And then it doesn't give me anything for that last entry, but you guys tell me, what would it be? 0.6, because we have 0.2 and 0.2. That gives me 0.4. You guys are noticing that my rows should add up to what? 1. Do my columns add up to 1? No, but that's okay. We're doing our rows are going to add up to 1 by the way that we have set this up, okay? All right, so this is what we would call our transition matrix, okay? All right, so let's see what we can do with those things. Suppose the current market survey also indicates that the current market shares are 40% for Highlight users, 30% for Silky Shine, and 30% for other brands. We want to write this current market share matrix as M sub 0. So we want to write the market share as a matrix. We can do this one of 2 ways. How do you think we should organize this information? What are my dimensions going to be, first of all? 3 by 1. So if I do a 3 by 1, then that is 3 rows, 1 column, yeah? So then that is 0.4, 0.3, and 0.3, okay? Although, could I write it as a 1 by 3? I mean, I guess I can, right? I just do it as 3 columns in 1 row. So other option is a 1 by 3. And then I would write it as 0.4, 0.3, 0.3. Okay. One of these is correct, and one of them is not going to work with what we want to do. Okay? So let's think about that for a second. The next thing it says is find the market share for 1 month later, 2 months later, so on and so forth. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to multiply my transition matrix that I just came up with my market share matrix. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back and copy because, you know, it's way easier to do it that way. So I'm going to lasso it and then copy it, and then I'm going to paste it. Now, the question is, which way do we actually want to multiply this? Okay, so you either could multiply my entries on the left, or I can multiply them on the right, and that changes, you know, which transition or which market share matrix I would use, because of course this is a 3 by 3. Okay. Now we have to make sure that we are multiplying the values together. And what I want to do is I want to increment it such that my values are going to multiply by the appropriate dimension, okay? Now, if I multiplied it by this matrix up here, so the first one that we listed, would I multiply it on the right or would I multiply it on the left? It should be the right, correct? Because that's a 3 by 1, so then my inner products would be the same. But if I do that, so I'd have to go rows across here and then times our column. Okay, well, that's still HSO. What I want to do is I actually want to multiply vertically, because that's going to give me my values for that first month is down this way. So I'm actually not going to want to multiply by this dimension. So I'm going to put this up here. When we write our market share matrix, we want to put it as a 1 by 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these rows here. I'm going to erase this here. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it, so copy, paste here. Okay. All right, so when I do that, I want to multiply these by each other. And I'm going to do it on the left. That's the proper place to put it, because we did 1 row by 3 columns, so 3 by 3. So my result should be a what? A 1 by 3. Okay, I'm actually probably going to need a lot of room. I hope you guys came equipped with calculators, because I'm not sure how well I can do this in my head. So we're not going to be a hero today. All right, so we're going to multiply right to left, or left to right rather, and then top to bottom. Okay, here we go. So then we would have 0.4 times 0.9, which gives us what? 0.36 plus, okay, and then I would do 0.3 times 0.1, 0.03, and then 0.3 times 0.2 would be plus 0.06. Okay, all right with that? Okay, cool. Let's do our next values here. So then we would have 0.4, 0.3, 0.3 again by our second column. So then we would do 0.4 times 0.05 would give me what? 0.02. Plus 0.3 times 0.7, 0.21. Plus 0.3 times 0.2 gives me again 0.06. All right, and then our last values here. So we would have 0.4 times 0.05, which would be 0.02, yeah? And then 0.3 times 0.2 would be plus 0.06, and then 0.3 times 0.6 would be 0.18, I believe. I hope that's right. Okay, and then let's add all these values together and see what we get. All right, so 0.36 plus 0.03 plus 0.06 would be 0.45. And then 0.02 plus 0.21 plus 0.06 would be 0.29. Yeah, okay. And then 0.02 plus 0.06 plus 0.18 gives me 0.26. That sound right? Looks good. Okay, cool. All right, so then 1 month later, that's what my market share looks like. Okay? All right, now it also wants me to find 2 months later. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste that same matrix. Oh, man. Let's do the other one. I don't want that one yet. Actually, yeah, no, I don't want that one yet. Let's copy our matrix from the last slide. Technology. Paste. Now this time, I'm going to multiply by my market share matrix from month 1, okay? I'm not going to copy that, though, because I'm going to write it in a more organized way. This is when we're going to need calculators. So 0.45, 0.29, and then 0.26. I think I took attendance. All right, so now we want to multiply and see what we get. I marked it, I just didn't press save. Okay, all right, you guys got calculators? We ready to roll? Okay, so I need to do 0.45 times 0.9. Okay. 0.45 times 0.9 plus 0.29 times 0.1 plus 0.26 times 0.2. All right, so that's our first entry. Somebody who wants to be a calculator warrior, great. If not, I think I do have the solution. It's like somewhere up there on my desk. I could find out where it is. And then if I do my next entries, so I would do the same values, just multiplied by my second column. So 0.45 times 0.05 plus 0.29 times 0.07 plus 0.26 times 0.2. All those values. And then I got to do my final values. So 0.45 times 0.05 plus 0.26 times 0.02 plus, no, it was 0.29, wasn't it? Not 0.26. Gah, sorry. And then the last one's 0.26 times 0.6. I don't know, you guys just want me to tell you what the solution is there? Yes. Fine, all right. I think I wrote it out. Something along the lines of 0.486 would be my first entry. My second entry is 0.2775. And then my last entry was 0.2365, I believe is what it is. Is that what you guys got? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, cool. All right. Let's analyze what this means, though, okay? So, like, after 2 months, where is my market share going? Like, oh, man, Highlight started with 40% of the market share. They're almost at 49%. They're nearly at 50% of the market share after 2 months. And then Silky Shine, they were at 0.3. Now they're down to 0.278. And then other brands, they were at 0.3, also down to 0.23, okay? So over time, we can see that Highlight's stealing the show here, okay? All right. Let's go to the 30th month. So if your 30th month gives you these values in this transition matrix, or not the transition matrix, but the market share matrix there. So 0.5393, 0.222, 0.185. And then the 31st month has the same market share matrix. What can we conclude about the market share for month 32? What would we expect it to be? It's going to be the same, right? So what this is saying is if I took my matrix and I multiplied it by M30, so M31 should be or I should say M32 should equal 0.593. I didn't leave myself enough room. That's okay. Let's move things. Uh, 0.222 and 0.185. If I multiply this, our reasoning is that we're going to get the same thing as M31. So it's going to be the same market share matrix, okay? Nothing should change. What about for month 50? Same thing, okay? If I multiply these by each other, we've shown that it's not going to change my values at all, okay? So this is what is called the steady state matrix, okay? So if things continue as they are, eventually we will reach a steady state where things just stay status quo, okay? The steady state matrix S for a transition matrix has the property that if you multiply your steady state matrix S times your transition matrix, it's just going to equal whatever that steady state matrix is. Okay, so you multiply it and then it just equals that same steady state matrix. Okay, hey, what's Silky Shine going to do? Like they're losing a bunch of business. What can they do to get some customers back? What do you think? Like a coupon? You said what? Put Colin Haydu. We just got to advertise him, right? Okay. What else? So let's see. Celebrity endorsement. Is that what that's called?
Buy one, get one free. New labels, better ads. Black Friday.
You guys have a lot of ideas. Oh, Black Friday is coming up. New label.
Sad dog advertisements.
Better ad. Did you say sad dog advertisement?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I don't even remember what I was writing. Better something.
Help these dogs eat the
You're right. Better advertisements. Hey, I remembered. It was just late. I almost left you a sticky note again.
You see all these?
What is that? All the people you got to run to?
Yeah.
You getting your steps in today. I know.
You wasted my time.
I think it was the third time I've been on that list today. It's been a tough one. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks. All right. So that's what we call our steady state matrix. I feel in trouble. But it's fine because I'm teaching a celebrity, so it's okay. All right. Hey, you guys like mac and cheese, right? Real quick poll. Favorite shape of mac and cheese? The regular elbows? How many of you are team regular elbows?
The Velveeta.
Oh, the Velveeta. Okay, Velveeta's good. Spirals, right here. Spiral mac and cheese is the best one. They like go like this. I don't know. Yeah. Or the shapes are good, like SpongeBob or like Paw Patrol. Those are good as well too. Yeah. What? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Big fan of penne pasta. All depends on your sauce you're eating it with, right? Anyway. Okay. I feel like this is probably a fairly accurate problem. It says 75% of the people who buy Kraft mac and cheese this month will buy it again next month. I am one of those people. There's always a box of spirals up in my cupboard. I say it's for my kids, but, 25% will switch to another brand. 55% people who buy other brands will switch to Kraft next month, while the other 45% stay with other brands. Find the steady state matrix, okay? All right, so first of all, how many different brands are we considering? Just two, right? I mean, it's just Kraft mac and cheese and then everything else, okay? So our matrix is going to be what? A 2x2 matrix. Good. So we're going to write our transition matrix, and we're going to go, I should label this. So we're going to go from And then we've got craft and other. And then we're going to write 2, craft, and other. All right, so let's write our transition matrix, okay? We eventually want to find our steady state matrix though, okay? All right, from craft to craft. 0.75. From craft to, what's the next thing they said? 25% will switch to another brand. So it'd be from craft to other. So to the right of that would be 0.25, yeah? All right. And then from other, 55% of the people who buy other brands will buy craft the next month. They ventured out, they didn't like it, they're going back to craft. And then the other 45% will stay with other brands. Okay. All right. There's our transition matrix. We need to find our steady state matrix. Okay. Now here's how we do it. We know that our steady state matrix is going to have the dimension of 1 row, 2 columns. Okay. So we need to multiply, we need to take our matrix that we just wrote. So I'm just going to rewrite it, 0.75, 0.25, 0.55, and 0.45. And I need to multiply it by a matrix and then have the end result be that same matrix, right? Because that's the goal. If I want to find my steady state matrix, because they didn't tell me like what the current market share was or anything like that. So what we need to do is we need to come up with some sort of matrix that I can multiply that'll make sense, and then I'll end up with that same matrix, okay? Now, do we know how much we start with? What the current market share is for craft? No, so what can we put? Sounds great. If I put X as that first entry, what would that second entry have to be? Not Y. Good guess, like another variable, but I would rather do it in terms of X. 1 minus X. Because my rows have to add up to 1. So I'm going to do 1 minus X for my value there. Okay? And it's going to have to equal the same matrix. So I'm going to have my same values for X and 1 minus X as my steady state matrix. Okay? All right. And then let's do some matrix multiplication and solve for X. Okay, so... All right, so X times 0.75 plus X times, or 1 minus X rather, times 0.55. So that's my first entry. And then my second entry would be X times 0.25, so 0.25X plus 1 minus X times 0.45. Now I know that that is going to equal my steady state matrix, which is again X and then 1 minus X. And we've done some problems before where we set matrices with unknowns inside of them equal to each other. I just need to solve each one of these individually. Now, do I need to solve them both? I really just need to solve one, right? Because both of those equations would solve for the same variable X, okay? All right, so I'm just going to take my first entry, so 0.75X plus, and then I'm going to distribute 0.55 to each piece, so 0.55 minus 0.55X, and that should equal X. Okay, so I took this information and I set it equal to this first cell entry here. And we solve. All right, so 0.75 minus 0.55 is going to give me 0.2x plus 0.55 equals x. So I should subtract and divide. So 0.55 equals 0.8x. Divide both sides by 0.8. I don't know. 0.5 divided by 0.8. 0.55 divided, you said what? No, I'm not even going to do that. It's 6 point. You point. I mean, it's probably not that far. It's 5/8, so it's like.
0.675.
Is it actually? Is it really?
We said 5/8.
Well, it's
Check that.
yeah.
It's on this side, but
No, that's not.
Oh my gosh.
No.
It's 0.6875.
Ha 6875. Nice.
65.
So close. So close. All right, so what's the other one going to be?
Pretty close.
Pretty close. So 0.6875. And then my other entry is 1 minus that. So 1 minus 0.6875.
I'm not putting that in.
Yeah, you are.
It's 0.3125. I don't need to check that. I know it is.
I believe you. There we go. That is our steady state matrix. So we would call this S.
I'm not there right now. What do you mean? I'm literally locked in.
What's going on that iPad over there, Ethan?
It's the notes.
All right. Okay, so that's our steady state matrix. Okay.
Actually, on the next page.
Are you?
Yeah. The next page is there. I've got example 5. I just made.
Got it. All right, questions there? Okay. I forgot to put your homework in, I'm sorry. But I did when I uploaded your file. I know. When I uploaded your file for the notes, I put it in the description there. So sorry I didn't put it as a slide on your notes, but it is there online.
Oh, this game is terrible. This game.
Everybody who did their homework.
Oh, this game is so hard.
All right, any questions on last night's homework? No? Okay. All right, cool. Tomorrow we shall go over this homework, so make sure you check this out.
Are you guys a question?
I didn't do it.